I love my new intro. As we all know, elements in certain video games have been known to repeat themselves. These cliches fall into three categories: the tolerated, the unnoticed, and the loathed. The final of which I will be discussing in this countdown. Now, I'm sure you're all aware that the Autarch of Flame, Fiery Joker, and Polish Valjean have made their own versions of this list. So, out of respect for them and their work, I will not include any of their entries on this list. So, without any further ado, here are my top 10 worst video game cliches.
Let me ask you, how do you plan to put an end to all of this?
Wait a sec. You want me to tie up all these loose ends? I don't think so.
You're the protagonist. I'm just a cool, handsome foil who happens to be your twin brother. Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Enemies are an essential part of a game. They allow you to hone your skills or increase your power before facing a large boss. What I don't see is why gamers give these enemies certain powers that make them excessively difficult to beat. Literally, I don't see it. Get it? Because they're invisible? Why do I even try? Anyway, invisible enemies are a nuisance. Now, I realize that there's always some way that you can make them visible, but why can't I just see them in the first place? Why don't they stop being cowards and show themselves for who they really are?
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch them. They're annoying.
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Okay, maybe this only bothers me, but it's on the list anyway. Multiple endings. I just hate it when you have to play a game more than once just to see a different ending. Especially when you only change one or two things in your gameplay to get that other ending. I mean, how many times do you honestly expect us to play the game and not get bored? Wario World has 6 endings, Shadow the Hedgehog has 10 endings, Chrono Trigger has 11 endings, and Dynasty Warriors 6, the undisputed king of this practice, has 32 endings!
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
How hard is it to make an original enemy? Giving some big abomination a club has been done. Next!
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Bombs are a cliche that, for most gamers, falls into the unnoticed category. Frankly, in most scenarios I hardly notice it myself, especially when they appear often in the game, or make sense in context. However, when bombs are randomly placed into a game's atmosphere, it leaves me with a feeling of disappointment. I mean, seriously, where in the world is a shy guy going to get bombs?
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Brittany aside, toxic is quite literally a plague in gaming. When poison is brought into a gaming atmosphere, it always forces you to divert from your current objective and focus on nothing but curing yourself. In many games, poison is also used as a time constraint, causing a character to die if the poison is not cured in time. Oftentimes, this poison is unavoidable and occurs when you don't expect it to, making it very difficult to ignore.
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Does this sound familiar to you? You're just shooting some enemies or exploring a new area in a game. When something goes wrong, you're put in a time crunch, you're not prepared, and the only thing you can do is run. No warning, no explanation, and no strategy. Just run and hope you survive. Time crunches are killer in video games because you never see them coming, and they always make you feel like you'll never escape. Oh, but that's not all. Some games have the nerve to send enemies after you while you're running. I mean, really? Are these enemies so stupid they'll sooner stay behind to slow you down and burn to death than have some common sense and evacuate?
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Remember Bouldergeist? Godan, Andros, Tiki Tong? Do you notice anything, I don't know, similar about them? Well, for those of you who are blind, they're all a head with two hands. I'll ask again. Is it really that hard to make an original enemy? And, as if the same design weren't enough, defeating these enemies is always the same way. You destroy weak spots on the hands, then attack a weak spot on the head, usually an eyeball, and then you attack the head, usually in the center of the forehead. Use some creativity, people!
Hate to say it, but it's your job.
Ugh. Evil twins. Let's see how many we can name. Shadow Link, Dark Samus, Metal Sonic, Yube, Mephiles the Dark, SpongeBob Metal Pants, Shadow Pokemon, Henry, Liquid Snake, Sonic's Black Knight, Metal Mario, Shadow Mario, Mr. L, SAX, Dark Pit, Boshi, Blood Falcon, Mewtwo, the Dark Prince, Crazy Red, Gigamac, Dark Bowser, Starwolf, Klaus, and Future Layton. Just to name a few. Okay, so before I reveal the worst cliché in video games, I'll do a quick recap. Number 10, Invisible Enemies. Number 9, Foot Races. Number 8, Multiple Endings. Number 7, Try Something Else for Once. Number 6, Bombs. Number 5, I'm Slippin' Under. Number 4, Just Keep On Running. Number 3, First the hands, then the eye, then the head. And number 2, Evil Twins.
Then let's find that exit they call paradise.
For a cliché to be number 1, it has to be huge. It has to be annoying. It has to be unavoidable. It has to be loathed by gamers worldwide. It has to be in practically every game known to man. It has to be ice! Where do I begin with ice? First off, movement is always hindered on ice. In 2D games, that means that you can't accelerate quickly, and in 3D games, it means you can't turn without having to compensate. Levels based on ice force you to basically relearn the controls because of the slippery surface. And have you ever noticed that enemies never seem to have trouble moving? Another thing I don't understand is the placement of the ice levels. Crash Bandicoot 4's Arctic Antics is completely unrelated to any of its other stages. Pokemon Black's Cold Storage is completely unnecessary. Why is the ice here? Just to annoy us? Well, great job, developers, because annoyed us it has. I'm the Phoenix King, and I never want to see ice again! Unless it's in a drink.